Democrats are being accused of hypocrisy for protecting themselves but not their constituents. Protesters are banned on the block where Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot lives, while the city sees a spike in shootings and murders. Lightfoot defended the move. Take a look.
This is a different time like no other. And I'm not going to make any excuses for the fact that given the threats that I have personally received, given the threats to my home and my family, I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that they are protected. And I make no apologies whatsoever for that.
Greg, you are high profile and have no doubt received threats in the past. Is there a Fort Gutfeld in the campground where you live?
All those threats come from Juan, though, and I know where he lives. So this is the pure hypocrisy of many in the left, in which they deny the existence of crime and mob violence as long as it's not in their leafy suburb. Well, it came to her leafy suburb, and now she thinks that she gets special protection because, yeah, she's a public figure. But my neighborhood got ravaged. I know it's an old story, but I always have to bring this up because it's very important. My neighborhood got ravaged, and half of it is still boarded up because of the looting. The shootings have obviously doubled in New York City. I wonder, has de Blasio adjusted or rethought his criminal strategy? I don't think so. I think it's going to happen again. If Trump wins, is there going to be a police force out there that's going to be willing to keep people safe from the far-left rioters? And what about the Floyd verdict, right? We don't know how that's going to go. And if it doesn't go the way that people want it to go, what's going to happen? More American chaos. And the media will pretend it doesn't happen because they're in charge of the race-baiting narrative.
Juan, if the mayor of Chicago has a right to the safety and sanctity of her home, do her constituents also have that same right?
I think we all do, right? I think that's the idea. And in Chicago, by the way, the law says that you are not allowed to have protests in residential neighborhoods. Now, Trey, I don't know if that's constitutional, but I think that's the line that they say they are upholding. I will say this. I live in D.C., as you know, and right now there's a fortress basically around the White House. You can't go in Lafayette Square. Why? Because they say it's for security reasons. They want to make sure there's no security issue. So this extends across the board. You see this in other cities in terms of mayors and city council members. But I think the whole point about hypocrisy is pretty weak here. The idea is that we all should feel secure in our home. Yeah.
Martha, let me ask you, you're a straight shooter. Do you see any duplicity between the mayors not wanting even peaceful protests, but yet shops are being set on fire in the city?
I do. I mean, why does she get protection and she's not pushing for protection for these other stores, these people who've owned their businesses their whole lives, who got the windows kicked in and they've got to start over, for the urban families who don't have police on their corners the way they used to, or some of them have just adopted a different posture because they're terrified of what might happen if they actually show up for the call and, you know, something gets misinterpreted, which does happen in some of these cases, not in all of them. Some of them are legitimate abuse in some of these cases. But, you know, so those things need to be recognized in a big way. Remember, this is also the mayor who went to get her hair done when she told everyone else that the salons needed to be closed because she said, you know, I'm the mayor, you know, so I get to do this. One thing about Washington, D.C. and Jefferson and Jackson Square in front of the White House. I was just there the other day. I run in that area a lot. It breaks my heart, Juan. The reason that whole thing is cordoned off is because it's been destroyed. The windows are broken. Everything is boarded up. Graffiti is everywhere. They tried to pull the statue down in the middle of that beautiful historic place. So until we figure out a way to keep those areas safe, those fences are going to stay up. And you're right. It's a crime. It breaks my heart to see Lafayette Square Park. It really, really does.
Jesse, I'll give you the last quick word on this.
He's got a bunker, too.
Nice try, Juan.
Jesse, last quick word.
Yeah, because if one of those radical Antifa Black Lives Matter ever got a hold of Trump, he'd be dead. That's why he's secure, Juan. I understand the hypocrisy. If you're a suburban couple wearing a pink polo shirt, you're not allowed to secure your property. But if you're a Democratic mayor in Chicago, you're allowed. And the other hypocrisy is this. Chicago has tried to prohibit you from owning a handgun. They're trying to prohibit you from owning an AR-15. They don't protect businesses big and small. And they don't prosecute the looters and the rioters and people that attack police officers. That is the hypocrisy.